All right, hello everybody. Welcome back to the Sword and Shield video here. Today we're going to be discussing and talking about three very powerful legendaries. And I want to mention these three because when specifically these three legendaries came out, they were so impactful, not only to the meta that came out, but they brought in a lot of question on if they're better than the king himself, if they're better than the god, the beast that stands above all and has his own tier list, Mega Ray. So there are very few legendaries that could even come up in terms of discussion when it comes to this beast. In retro theory, I think first off, to go into it, in retro theory, when you guys remember when Oris first came out and the thing was revealed, we thought it was primal. Turns out it wasn't. It was just a mega. He's the origin of mega. He's a beast. He's a monster. He's very different from other megas because he doesn't need to hold a mega crystal, nor does he need a bond with a trainer. He just just Dragon Ascent. He's a beast. He's a beast. This thing came out and he was so unbelievably broken. To put into theory for you guys that don't play competitive, he was so unbelievably broken and still is that he reduces his own weakness with Delta Stream. Not all of them, but a lot of them. So as you can see, Delta Stream creates a strong wind. The ability is activated. Strong winds have the following effect. It says the weather stays active as long as the ability bearer remains in battle, but stops when the Pokemon is switched out. Electric, ice, and rock type moves deal normal damage to any flying type Pokemon. So it is diminishing all of his weaknesses when it comes to flying. So he loses that quad weakness to flying and ends up just being times 2. He ends up losing the rock weakness. Electric just ends up at that point just becoming a resistance. Dog, this thing is crazy, dude. This thing is crazy, man. It's a beast. It's just a beast, dog. It's a freaking beast. Oh my god. And you can see its stats pool is absolutely insane. Like, look at it. It goes from 680 to 780, of course, because of Mega, but god, like, this thing is purely designed and purely only existed because of the lore. Like, I know Game Freak, when they sat down and they said, let's make a Mega Pokemon, or let's make Rayquaza get a Mega, they knew that it would only be lore-based because it'd be broken. So, just to put that into theory now, for those of you that don't really play Pokemon like that or understand the power of this thing is powerful. This thing is actually very, very, very powerful. And there are two legendaries that keep in the discussion that come close. I think one, necessarily people aren't talking about as much, and that's fine. And we're going to talk about that a lot here in this video. So, of course, if you're hyped, if you're excited, hit that like button down below for me. I've made some other discussions as well about Zamazenta and Zacian, who's better between the two, as well as the starters. They'll be on the cards on the screen as you see right now, or in the end of the video, you shall see. We're going to talk about the first one, though, to put it to caliber with Mega Ray, which actually did come up in discussion a lot, was Ultra Necrozma. When the Ultra Sun and Moon came out, people started to question if this mon comes close to Mega Ray. And I think it's very interesting to sit down and discuss about. And we're going to sit down and discuss that because when Ultra Necrozma came out, this mon was incredibly powerful. It is a menace to society. I mean, when you look at lore-wise, this thing is able to absorb the light and destroy worlds. So that in itself is a feat because this legendary Pokemon is able to absorb light from things. Just sit down and think about that. Like, that is a huge canonical feat to sit down and absorb light. Like, I think maybe even... Like, I'd love to do a discussion on a video with that with somebody who's really professional when it comes to lore, because I'm also really professional when it comes to lore, but somebody who's beyond me. You know what I mean? But I would argue and believe that lore-wise, Ultra Necrozma is a lot stronger than Mega Rayquaza, because this thing is able to engulf light, which meaning that the thing can swallow stars and suns, you know what I mean? It literally did that because it absorbed all the light in that world of where it was at. But that's on the topic of the video. Topic of the video is competitive. This thing has the ability called Neural Force. If you guys don't know what that does, it powers up moves that are super effective. So I forget what ability it's similar. It's not adaptability, because adaptability, it raises. It's like a weird adaptability because adaptability is raising your stab to make them a lot stronger. Versus this one is like, hey, moves that are super effective, they're just straight up doubled. They're just straight up gonna just double them, dudes. Okay, all right, cool. All right, off rip, that's insanely powerful. Mega Ray is base 70, base 780 when it comes to base total stat. Ultra Necrozma 754. He comes close. He does. As you can see, Ultra Necrozma has a lot of resistance as well too. He resists the Psychic, Fire, Water, Electric, Grass, and Fighting. Biggest ones being Water, Fighting, and Psychic are probably the biggest ones there. Everything else is just kind of there. But he does have a lot of weaknesses though. I think that's the one thing that's not going to make him obviously stronger and make him lose points on being stronger than Mega Ray. I know a lot of people when this mod first came out, they thought that he was stronger than Mega Ray because, you know, the lore and the story is painting him to be stronger than him, which I would argue that he is stronger than Mega Ray in the lore. But obviously, like I said, again, it's not a lore video. This is a competitive video. I still think that Mega Ray is going to be able to be on top of this thing. Not to mention, you need to be in Dawn Wings or Dusk Main, and you need to essentially go for Light That Burns the Sky. You need to go for their Z move, and then you become this thing. So I think there's an interesting gimmick that's going to be helping out Ultra Necrozma because you can see Ultra Necrozma does have a lot of weaknesses, being Bug weakness. I feel as though it was kind of important now because Bug got buffed in Gen 7. Like, we got a lot of strong Bug types. They buffed Leech Life, you know, some interesting new Bug moves, you know, like some Bug Pokemon also got access to some decent moves too. So I don't know, like I just feel that. I feel like Bug is going up every generation and I'm happy about that. But it's with the Bug, Ghost, Dragon, Dark. I feel like Dragon and Dark are going to be the biggest ones, going to hurt obviously, of course, and Fairy. And then it's also beat to Ice obviously because it's a Dragon type. Now if this thing had something similar to Mega Ray where instead of Neuroforce doubling super effective moves, it just made it to where, you know, it cut in half super effective moves, then that'd be a whole different story. But it does a total opposite of doubling super effective moves. So I feel as though that's something's gonna hurt him. So you look at it, it's got obviously a lot more weaknesses. You can see with Mega Ray and Mega Wave totaling 3 weaknesses, 1 quad resistance, and then he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 resistances and an immunity. Ultra Necrozma having no immunities, having 6 weaknesses and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weaknesses. He has 6 weaknesses and 6 resistances, no quad resistance at all, and no immunities, as well as Mega Ray having just higher stats overall in general. I think that you can look at it, the verdict that Mega Ray is indeed stronger than Ultra Necrozma. I mean, he hits harder in both ways. Ultra Necrozma having both base 167 in special attack, Mega Ray having both 180 in both stats with 105 HP. Bruh, the only thing Ultra Necrozma has is it outspeeds it. But when you look at Pokemon, it's a 6v6 game. It's not a 1v1 game. So in a 1v1 aspect, I think this thing would be able to one-shot Mega Ray. But we're not going to look at it as that because it's 6v6, because it outspeeds Mega Ray, obviously, of course. But I mean, just get a Dragon Dance up. Without our Dragon Dance, I think it's probably one-shotting it. But just get a Dragon Dance up. You know what I mean? Just get a Dragon Dance up and you're fine. You're genuinely fine. Of course, Ultra Necrozma also did come out in the meta of Z moves, but here's the nice thing about that too. Mega Ray is allowed to use Z moves. Just sit down and think about that. He can hold any item he wants. So it already started broken when he came to be able to hold Choice Band, Choice Specs, Life Orb, Draco Plate, all these moves, you know what I mean? Be able to hold all these different type of items to boost that mon, right? The fact that a Mega Pokemon is able to run Z moves, come on, dog. That alone, in its sense, okay, Ultra Necrozma, he's out. You guys get my point now. Ultra Necrozma, he is out. But Ultra Necrozma is a very powerful Pokemon. It is a very powerful Pokemon, but it's out. So that's in the verdict. So out of the 3 now, you have Ultra Necrozma being in last place in 3rd. We're going to look now to see, does Zacian be able to outbeat and is stronger than Mega Ray? Like I said again, guys, it is a 6v6 game. You have to look at it as in Zacian versus the meta and Mega Ray versus the meta. The meta being, you know, alternate Uber Pokemon. You have big threats like both Primals, Giratina Origin Form, Marshadow ended up being a big threat as well too in Sun and Moon. You have Giratina Origin Form. You know, obviously, of course, the life and death duo of Xerneas and Evolta, especially Xerneas. When Xerneas first came out, people were talking about him, but not enough people are talking about Zacian. When Xerneas first came out, he was absolutely insane. Obviously, he came at the same time with Aegislash, so there were checks. Because they just banned Aegislash. They just banned Mega Lucario. There was things that RCU Seal as well too. So there are things that you could do that was able to mitigate Xerneas. He still can get around. You know what I mean? He can learn like Shadow Ball, he can learn Focus Buff. He can still get around. But that mon was insane. So I don't think enough people are speaking about Zacian number 888. That's my slogan. I love this mon. That's gonna be all my tags. I wish I could change my Sword and Shield profile card to 888. I'm 888. I'm 888 to the day I die. Like, this mon is insane. And let me tell you why I think it is stronger than Mega Rayquaza. I will sit down and tell you why it is stronger than Mega Rayquaza. If you don't believe it, that's fine. Objectively, I'm speaking about in an objective sense why this dire wolf, this warrior wolf, is stronger than the creation of Mega Pokemon. And not only that, but the mon that was also so powerful, he was banned into his own tier. We, being seen as the Smogon Council, being seen as the gods, they pulled a Giratina on him and banned him into his own tier. Doug, this wolf is in contention of potentially going in that tier, possibly being stronger than Mega Ray. Let me tell you, right? So, this thing has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 resistances. Like I talked about my Zacian versus Amazon video, this thing has 8 resistances, 2 immunities, and 1 quad resistance. This is only weak to 2 moves. This thing is only weak to 2 moves. It is weak to fire moves, it is weak to ground moves. Now sure, in Ubers there are a lot of Pokemon that can learn a lot of fire moves and a lot of ground moves. Mainly ground moves, all right? Mainly ground moves. You mainly gotta look out for things that learn fire moves, like a lot of the dragons up there and Primal Groudon. But mainly ground moves are gonna be the thing because, you know, all these Uber Pokemon are so heavy. A lot of them get access to Earthquake, and Ultra Sun and Moon give a lot of Pokemon Stomping Tantrum. But it doesn't matter because the thing is outpacing almost everything in the Uber's meta. It is literally outspeeding almost everything up there. I think there's very few that could even potentially come close to outspeed it. Being the Deoxys forms, I think regular Deoxys and Deoxys Speed, I think that might be the only thing here, guys. I've opened up a showdown. You see Zacian is here. Zacian having base 148. You see Deoxys. We're gonna look at Deoxys attack. Deoxys attack having base 150. Standard Deoxys. Standard Deoxys is chilling at 150 as well. Deoxys Speed, though, I think he's like 180 something. He's 180 on the dot. Okay. So the Deoxys forms and obviously Ninjask are, I think, the only mons that outspeed this mon in the entire verse. In the entire verse. We've looked it up the other day. I think Electrode also comes close as well, too. Electrode hits somewhere around the 160s. Electrode's 150 on the dot, so obviously outspeeds as well, too. But we don't talk about Electrode. He's terrible. Everything about him sucks. All right. Zacian, though, 148 base speed. That blows my mind that a Pokemon with 148 base speed, having really good defenses, really good HP, with all of these resistances and immunities, quad resistant to bug as well too, but mainly it's got 2 very powerful immunities, one being poison. Poison got a very big buff ever since fairies were introduced. You know, I still feel like we need to keep pumping out stronger poison type Pokemon. Not saying we don't have enough, but I feel like that Levitate nerf on Gengar is really, really hurting him. But I feel like we need to be pumping out more stronger poison types. But the big fact that he's both immune to poison and dragon, dog, this thing is barely weak to anything. It is base 148 speed. It is outpacing like 90% of the entire Pokemon verse. Like maybe even 95. Dog, there's like only Electrode, Deoxys attack, regular Deoxys, and Deoxys speed. There are 4 mons faster than this thing. 4 mons that are faster than this thing. This thing is crazy, crazy, crazy fast, dude. Mind you, base 170 attack stat and its ability allows it to always come onto the field with a +1 boost. +1 boost. So this thing is base 170 with base 148 speed. And that 170 is amped up with a +1 boost. Dog, who allowed this? Who allowed this? That means that it is coming onto the field potentially at base 255. Dog, who allowed this beast? This thing is like a Mega 2.0. It honestly may as well just be Mega Magearna. It may as well be. So this thing is consistently knocking out Mega Ray, right? Consistently. Obviously, of course, you would need to get a Dragon Dance of Mega Ray. You would need to be able to do that and then just V-create that thing. The thing is, they're nice, right? We have calculators now, so we can look at it now. And I think the calculator is going to be super important here because it matters. Obviously, like I said, in 66 aspect, it is important. I do want to look up, though, and see just how powerful this thing is. Also, the thing is so fast, it doesn't even need to run absolute max speed. Look at it. I'm running Adamant, and I'm outspeeding. It outspeeds a Jolly max speed Mega Ray, and I'm running Adamant. Dog. Who allowed this beast? Who allowed this beast? Right? Oh my god. Obviously, the thing can only hold the rusted sword, so it doesn't matter. But I want to look at it in the aspect of the thing. It always comes in the +1. You see a +1 play rough. Probably knocking the thing out to 168 minute on this guy. Earthquake, it has a chance to live. Look at that. That is a Jolly Mega Ray. It has a chance to live. If you do Adamant, obviously, of course, then it doesn't. But yeah, it's speeding it regardless. We could even look at things like V-Create. V-Create is doing 195 minimum. So if you get a Dragon Dance off, you're able to knock this thing out. But if you don't have a Dragon Dance, this thing is knocking out Mega Ray 9 times out of 10. Now, in the aspect of a 66 meta, right, you look at big things that probably stop this thing. I think Primal Groudon is one of the biggest things when it comes to contention of conversation because he's both fire and ground, two of the only weaknesses Zacian has. And it's also one of the tankiest mons in the Uber's metagame. 160 defense, 100 HP, one of the bulkiest mons in Uber metagame. We're going to do the absolute worst case scenario. Let's start off. First off, let's start off and do like a standard. Let's do like a Uber's defensive support. Let's do a standard one. A lot of people sometimes on this Spadef with how tanky he is. Precipice Blades, just, you know, with zero attack investment at all, is going to be able to one-shot this thing. This thing learns things like close combat. This thing gets things like Behemoth Blade. It's able, like I said, it's able to learn a lot of accessible moves it can learn. Ice Fang it learns, which is neutral. So I feel like you could just run Ice Fang, Solar Blade, if you really wanted to. That'd be neutral as well, too, but it's a physical move. So it could be added on to that. This thing also gets Swords Dance, so just completely max it out. So if you do Swords Dance, you get +3. So it gets 2-hit KO'd by a +3 Zacian. Obviously, of course, you know, it's not gonna be able to take a Primal Groudon's Precipice Blades. He's base 180 attack. But we're gonna do the absolute worst case scenario right now. And you look at this, max HP, max defense, Primal Groudon. Primal Groudon! One of the tankiest walls in Ubers, one of the tankiest mons in Ubers. It is two-shotting after a Swords Dance. Because this thing always comes in at +1. And even at +1, it's a guaranteed 3 KO on one of the tankiest mons in the game. One of the tankiest mons in the game. I just want to see Ice Fang. Don't run Ice Fang. Don't do that. We could even see worst case scenario. You could run like Solar Blade, and that's like guaranteed 3 KO as well. Like, dog, the thing is a beast. The thing is a beast. You look at things like Primal Kyogre. I don't even think we have to sit down and speak about, because Primal Kyogre is one of those mons where it doesn't necessarily resist both of the stab moves that this thing does. So, I mean, look at that. Player just bodies the thing. It doesn't matter at all. That's when it comes in onto the field. We could do, again, worst case scenario, like I said, again, if you want to do max HP, max defense for whatever reason. I've seen some people run max HP, max defense, Calm Mind, Primal Kyogre. If you want to do worst case scenario, it guarantees shoot 2 shots this thing. If you get a Swords Dance up, this thing has a chance to one-shot, again, an incredibly tanky mon. It has a chance to one-shot this thing, like I said, again. There's other big threats, like I said, in the metagame. There's Arceus. You can look up things like Arceus, but you'd have to, it all become plate dependent at that point. And Zacian's move pool is so wide, it's so vast, that I don't necessarily think Arceus will be able to counter the thing either, or be able to, you know, consistently check it, because its move pool is so wide, it learns everything. Arceus Steel for Fairy move, just run close combat. Arceus Water for Steel moves, just hit player for close combat. Arceus, whatever. What are you running? You know what I mean? Arceus Ground, just click any stab move. You know? Like, this, Arceus getting 2-shot. Both Primals are getting 2-shot. The thing has a good chance to one-shot Mega Ray. Like, nothing in the metagame will be able to stop this mod. I feel like feel like one of the best things you have to run. See, not even that. I was gonna say maybe Focus Sash Ditto, Scarf Ditto, but this thing is able to beat itself with Behemoth Blade because Steel is neutral on this Pokemon. So I don't even think that would matter either. Like when I first heard of this thing coming out, I was like, all right, maybe Primal Groudon takes this thing on because not only is it both fire and ground, it's one of the tankiest mons in the game in Primal Groudon where there's both of its stab moves, but just set up a Swords Dance. Just set up a Swords Dance. And at that point, it's done. So in theory, now after hearing all of that, this thing I think would potentially go up to anything goes. The thing is a monster, the thing is a beast. I do think that this mon is stronger than Mega Ray. First time I heard it at a discussion with my friends, I wasn't necessarily sold, and they can tell you the same thing. I wasn't sold that the thing was stronger than Mega Ray because I didn't look into it. After recording that Zacian and Zamazenta video, I literally then told them, I'm gonna do a video on this too. I 100% agree because they thought that Zacian was stronger than Mega Ray. I was like, wait, really? I didn't look into it that deep. I was Team Shield, so I didn't look that deep into Zacian. But bruh, this thing is a beast. It's a monster. That typing combo is broken. I'm telling you, notice this right now and learn from it from this video, guys. Every single time we've gotten a Fairy Steel typing Pokemon, it's always been powerful. Mega Mawile, Magearna, now Zacian. Dog. Oh, also Klefki. Klefki wasn't necessarily broken. Klefki was naturally tanky because of that typing combination. He was a consistent lead. He was very obnoxious. You know, he was able to guarantee put up a layer of spikes, guarantee T-Wave you, guarantee be able to do chip damage, or, you know, be able to put up layers of hazards or just be obnoxious because of his ability and because of the typing. That typing carried Klefki. If Klefki did not have that typing, he would not have been as good as he was. He would not. He would not have been because he just would have been scuffed Sableye 2.0. So they're like, oh, what about Sableye but Fairy Steel? Fairy Steel, I think, is the best type of combination to ever see Pokemon, ever. So if we ever see a Fairy Steel again in Gen 9, Gen 4 remakes, whatever, just know it's going to be powerful. Even standard Mawile is not broken or any way, shape, or form. It's not even that good. But the fact that it got Fairy Steel, it made it a better mon. It made it a better mon. That's my point. They get Fairy Steel, they become a better mon. But generally, Fairy Steels are broken. You know, there's obnoxious broken with Klefki. There's powerful broken with like Mega Mawile, Magearna, and now Zacian. And then there's like that power creep, you know, stronger with Standard Mawile. Standard Mawile did, in fact, get better having Fairy Steel. Not by much, but it's better than it was before, right? This thing is crazy. Guys, let me know your thoughts down below. I got some more discussion videos coming out as well to tease the next one. I'm not going to let you know, but it's going to be a really interesting video. I'm probably going to drop it Friday. I'm very excited for that, guys. Hit that like button down below if you love seeing videos like these. I love speaking about stuff like this. Of course, subscribe. I did a Zamazenta and Zacian one and a Starters one as well. If you want to peep those, it should be on the card screen and now on screen now. And with that, I'll chat to you guys later.